the Awaken Your Ego podcast with Joann and Ariana. We are a health podcast that explores topics to do with biohacking and self-discovery.
We are also on the self-discovery journey, and we want to attract listeners that are doing the same in order to help them realize they're not alone.
Ego differs from conventional medical spas and wellness centers. We believe that the secret to maximizing one's sense of self is in addressing the entire person, inside and out. We provide state-of-the-art aesthetic treatments as well as lifestyle management and holistic health solutions. We aim to please with our efficient and friendly customer service and guarantee with our scientifically proven alternative therapies and lifestyle optimizations that every patient will leave our care with a boosted ego. Our goal is to help our patients realize the necessity of self-care and to encourage them to prioritize their health and wellness goals. When we make self-care and confidence a priority, then we're able to bring to light our potential for happiness and growth. This podcast is a way to expand our reach so that we are able to spread the word on the importance of self, the whole self, inside and out.
This podcast is for educational purposes only. Please reach out to your medical provider if you have questions about any of the treatments we discuss to see if it's a right fit for you. Now on to our show. Hi everyone, welcome to our next episode of Awaken Your Ego. Today we have two lovely guests. We have Liset, our Reiki Master, joining us again. But today we have Cindy Mieggs. So Cindy has a Bachelor of Science and Professional Aeronautics with a minor in Safety and Business. She was an airline captain in her previous life. Since she's been medically retired, she has awakened her more spirited nature and has acknowledged her more innate gifts, such as psychic mediumship. She discovered her love for angel tarot cards and crystals. Cindy is also a Reiki Master and a crystal energy healer. She is a mom, a wife, loves to travel, read, snow ski, and spend time with her friends and furry pets. So let's welcome Cindy. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you. It's nice to be here.
So, Cindy and Liset, you guys have been friends for a long time. Do you want to just tell us your background and how you met?
I met Liset through a mutual friend who also Liset was working for at the time. And we met many years ago before we were more acquaintance friends, before we became close friends and discovered we both had a interest in the spiritual things and started talking and then just took off from there. And come to find out, we've been lifelong friends, literally.
Right?
Yeah.
How did you guys pick up on each other as far as like those gifts that you both kind of have?
So that would be me.
Yeah.
So I was scrolling through Facebook and there's a school that I did a couple of workshops and it said Reiki Master and I saw that she liked it. So what was it, like the next day within that week time, she came in and I looked at her and said, "So you're interested in Reiki, huh?" She goes, "Yeah." And I said, "I'm a Reiki Master." And since then, we've been, I don't want to say glued at the hip, but pretty much we've just been friends, developed our friendship even more in regards to it because we were both on the same path, and it was nice and refreshing for me to have someone that I can talk to in regards to spirituality and not look at you like, what are you talking about?
So that was like that key of helping you guys build more of that closer connection,
Yes.
having that similarity. It's awesome.
Oh, that's fantastic. I'm so excited to have you guys here with us because I've worked with you, multiple times, worked with us all the time. And I just feel like I've gained so many pearls by talking with you and like analyzing questions I have. And one of the first times I met Cindy was when you were doing some tarot card readings at one of our events, and I was just so stunned. I was surprised. I'm like, everything you're saying is legit. This is too weird. Like, this can't be it. But that being said, I know there's that stigma that comes with tarot cards. A lot of people don't know what to think of it, make sense of it. How do you explain what tarot cards are and the power they have to someone that's like new to it?
Well, I started I probably have 25 decks. No kidding. But I like my Angel Tarot because they're just a little more colorful, softer. The messages present a little different than the original tarot. But honestly, it's just your higher self. It's a tool bringing through the information. And so when you get a reading from me, you're giving yourself and your higher self permission. So I'm giving you information that you're requesting, and your higher self really is answering. I'm just interpreting it for you.
That's fantastic. How do you prepare yourself, or do you, like, for a tarot card reading?
I just sit and basically I meditate / pray, just clearing myself, and that whatever information comes through is for the best and highest good for everyone involved, and it comes from a place of your heart and love. And that's my wish for every reading, that it's helpful and loving.
So is there such thing as dark readings, or is there a difference? Can you explain that briefly?
There are people who do dark readings. I do not. Because it instills fear. And, the people who want to live in that's what they want to bring. Because what you ask for is what comes to you. It's all energy. What you put out comes back. So I choose to live in love, and it goes out, comes back, improving yourself. So for me, even the fear or the darkness, it's just a lower vibration. And you see that a lot on TV, but it sells. And I just don't think it brings about the change. It just brings fear into people. So what I bring in my readings is hopefully some self-reflection, things to think about, things to work on and improve, or things you feel good about, and can expand from there.
We were open, and I want to know if you're open to doing a tarot card reading on the podcast. If you're open, that would be fantastic. I think people like to see kind of just so people get a taste of like what it looks like, and hopefully they're less scared.
Sure. Well, do you have a question? You want to do like a little 3-card reading, and I can give you a little so forth? Okay. Let me get my cards up. So who am I reading for?
Let's start with Ariana.
Okay, we can start with me.
Kind of how you start the thing, that's how I start my deck.
Wake it up and just gotta get
Yeah.
a little.
To clear the other energies that are around it, and so it could be connecting. So just a little bit more information. Your higher self is your true nature of who you are. It's the person that is in full knowledge of love and center and aligned. So she's allowing herself to be connected. That way that information can come through. And it's your higher self saying what you want to tell you, and that whatever information needs to come through.
So what's your question?
I think what's been on my mind lately, and we were talking about it before the podcast a little bit, is like, where should my focus be at this moment so that I can become more in line with myself?
Okay. So.
Because I know that's going to help me in all aspects of life. And I'm not trying to go into my relationship on the air, so I'm just kidding. Totally kidding.
Okay.
But that's what will come up.
I'm going to do this really quick. So I have a flat surface. All right. All right, so I'm going to pull 3 cards for you. This is where you are presently. This is the future. This is your action steps. So the first card I pulled was the 4 of Earth.
Being too frivolous or too curious with money, good business decisions, giving to those less fortunate.
So that's where you are right now. So, and that's probably being too, extremes is what that's talking about. Not necessarily, being too frivolous or too cautious. It's like one or the other, back and forth. So that's where you currently are. And your focus, which is interesting, the air signs are mental. So it's telling you, so that's a perfect card here. And you got You need to think about situations that you're going through now with either being too frivolous or too cautious, and learn from the situation. And that's what it's asking you to do. Learn what you can from the situation and review everyone's viewpoint, why it's happening, before you take any actions. So sit in contemplation a bit and think about it before you make any moves. And what I like about these, when it says something like an unwise choice or don't do it, is it's just giving you advice so you can change it. You know, you take or leave what resonates, but it's giving you the heads up. Hey, think about it first before you make the choice. Mm-hmm. And then your action steps here, the Nine of Water, it says your wishes come true. Concerns fade away, a love for life. So if you sit and you have a bigger question going on right now, and that's what this one shows, great contemplation, is sit with it. Don't just go on your first, your reactive self or what you think. Go within, sit with it for a while, think about everyone's viewpoints, and if you do it from there, you're going to have a great outcome. And that's your step, is to do it from a place of love, and it'll work out for you.
Love that.
Yeah.
Because and it's funny you mentioned, I totally feel like that's where I'm at right now. Mm-hmm. Like literally all of those things. So it's just kind of
just telling you to slow
mind
down a little bit.
No, being mindful. It's like, and
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I've even talked to Liset a little bit, how lately I've felt kind of almost like halted or frozen. Mm-hmm. But I'm trying to take it, like you said, I've been very much going within mentally and like, okay, what does this mean? Why? Because usually I am that jerk. Let's go and we'll figure it out later. And lately it's been like, no, pause. And it's just, that's a weird thing for me. I don't normally pause. I'm like, go, 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 go. So that's right in tune with where I've kind of been discovering, things I've been discovering about myself.
And that's good, especially with bigger decisions, not to rush into it. And if there's other people that go, okay, where are they coming from? Mm-hmm. What is it? How's it going to affect everybody? Yeah. So thank you for letting me read for you.
Yeah, that was interesting.
And thank you for getting my glasses.
Your glasses are super cute, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
I love the frames.
Thank you.
What about you, Joann?
Okay, so me and Ariana were talking about this before. I will ask the love life question. I will be vulnerable in that. So yes, that is what I would like to know.
What exactly is that?
I know. I'm like, let me fine tune it.
Doesn't have
question.
to. You can have an open-ended question. It doesn't have to be yes or no question.
We could do that. That's probably safer.
But I don't know what you're wanting to know.
I guess it's just my stance on what I should do. I guess because I have been pondering a decision.
In your current love life?
Yes.
Okay.
Let's do it.
I'm scared. I'm scared.
Go
for
big or
you.
go home.
Don't be scared.
No, it's good.
It's information.
She's like, edit this out.
Break up immediately.
Oh, stop.
Okay. Quick question before I do this. Ooh. Are you wanting to know just for yourself, like, where am I? What's the future? What's my action? Or would you like to know, this is where I am right now. This is where he is right now. What does the future look like?
I want to know about me.
Okay. All right. Because that popped in and I got told to ask. So I was like, all right, I'll ask. All right.
I think you should go for the second one, she said.
I know. Now that she
As a
said that, I was like,
I'm like, I would want to know number
Can I do
two
both?
option, but
you know what?
Okay.
Yeah. I think because you brought it up.
All right. It's
Yeah. Okay. No.
Okay.
Okay.
we could do
I'll do it the next time.
Okay.
Okay, so currently right now, this is you. You got the Two of Earth. So it's what's happening in your life, earthbound right now, too much going on at once, the need to make a decision. And it's telling you, consider a more playful approach. Like when you're making it, don't make it heavy. Just lighten up and see how it goes. So your future, and you got basically what's considered a trump card and a high priestess, is, and they call it the major arcana. So it's a strong card. It's one when that comes up, pay attention. And it's saying, listen to your intuition. So listen to your gut. And in the future, and you need to have patience and consider what you want exactly before you act. So consider all the aspects, what it looks like with this person, without this person, what your life is, what your standards are, what your boundaries are. Are your needs being met? Is that really what you want? Or are you settling? Those type of things. Your action steps are, well, it's interesting. It shows the need to balance your emotions. It says falling in love, social events, perhaps a wedding. So that's in your future. It's coming to you. So you have to decide
Okay.
if it's all going to be with this person
Okay.
that you're asking about.
Yeah.
Since I don't know. But think about it, because it's in your future. It's coming to you regardless. But you have to decide,
Who do you want it to be with?
Yeah.
who do you want it to be with? And like I tell my daughter, is that person meeting your energy? Are they bringing you joy and love and meet you? They're not just nice, because anybody can just be nice,
Yeah.
or, but do they meet you? Are they an equal? Do they respect you and your boundaries and what's
Yeah.
important to you? So that's
Interesting.
what they're saying right here. So that was a good reading.
Okay. That's good to know. I was kind of scared. I'm like stressing a little bit. Like, oh.
Oh, no, because what's awesome is you can take it or leave it,
Yeah.
but these are just advice, and this is your higher self talking to you.
Yeah, and ultimately it's good
So-
things, general guidelines or things that you would look in finding a lifelong partner,
It is, and the cards are just telling you what you know, but maybe you don't want to think about the fact that, yeah, you're right, I need to make a decision, and I probably need to sit down and really think about it and my choices and look long term. Because
Yeah.
when you got that trump card, that was like, think about it. That's a big decision.
Okay.
Can I add to it?
Yes.
So, no matter what, at the end, there is that marriage is going to happen. There's that wedding is going to happen. You just have to decide which kind you want. You're here. So you're here, and this middle card, it's like you have two paths to take. Do you want to keep proceeding where you're at right now? And is that going to bring you the marriage that you epically want? Or is there somebody else that's going to go ahead and fulfill all those needs that you want, that make you sparkle and love, and life is delicious and it's wonderful and it's loving? So you have to decide which type of energy you want your life to be, and your injunction right now. I'm sorry.
No, it's good. I knew it. It's good.
But
Bring on the emotions. Yeah.
'cause
No, that's good.
I know you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You already know.
Yes. I mean, just coming from someone, background, who's been married before. I am divorced. I'm a single parent, but it is a big decision to make. So I think for me, when it came to dating, picking someone, I've been so just cautious. Like vulnerability was the hardest thing. But that's just it. It's like I'm at this point, I'm like, okay, I feel like I learned that again. But again, with the partner, who is that? And I think it gives me a lot of comfort to know, like, I will find someone. Because that's also been a fear too. Like, what if I don't ever get married again? Or you know what I mean? But I think ultimately that last card
Love is
what
in your
gives me-
future. Marriage is in your future, but you have a lot to think about, because it's not just you; it's your child.
Yeah.
And like I said, does this person meet you as an equal, not
Yeah.
just an interest, kind of?
Yeah. But thank you. Thanks for that.
So we need to get in our heads. We gotta think a little more. Both of us need to keep thinking.
Really think, yes. Okay. Well, we wanted to kind of talk about you being a medium as well. I know that's another gift that you have. How would you explain that to our listeners? Maybe someone or people that don't know what that is.
So a medium, what I do is I get information from someone who's passed over that wants to connect with you. Sometimes it can be someone you're hoping to talk to. Sometimes it will be ancestors and people you might not have met in this lifetime, but they will communicate. And as a medium, let's say you come to a reading and you ask me for a reading and I want to connect with Susie, for example. I can ask and try to put that out there, but ultimately I work for spirit, for God, and who comes through and meets my energy is who comes through. There's no guarantee that way. But whatever the message is usually something you need to know that is kind and loving, and they want to share it with you. So I receive information as a medium. When we're doing psychic type tarot stuff, I perceive your energy. Does that? So I'm perceiving your energy versus receiving energy from someone on the other side, if that helps.
And also when it comes to energy, you have to remember energy is just energy. So you get to say, as a spiritual person, exactly what type of energy you want to go ahead and deal with. So if you raise your vibration and then like, this is the only kind of energy that I want to go ahead and deal with and bring in, and this is I could go ahead and make my own contract, then that's what she's going to deal with. Like she said, she's going to only want to bring in love and light. And so that's the contract. So anything else is going to stay away, because once again, we have free will on this earth. So that's our free will. That's what we chose. That's what we ask. That's what we receive.
It's cool. So you almost set like spiritual boundaries for
I
yourself.
do.
Yes.
I absolutely do. I don't.
Definitely.
I don't allow anything else, anything dark. I'm like, I don't have time for that. Sorry.
So when did you realize that you had this gift?
I've had it my whole life, in and out, even as a kid. I just didn't acknowledge it. I pushed it aside, and it came up, especially when my mom was passing. My dad had already passed away, and I heard him loud and clear right next to me, and I thought everyone in the room did. And I was like, nobody did. Okay. I started acknowledging it more, still not dealing with it. And finally, a few years ago, I had some bigger events with it, and stuff just started pouring in. And I finally was like, okay, I get it. I'm to receive and work with this and help people. So then I started developing it, setting my boundaries of what I was comfortable with, what I was willing to bring through, and the people I am willing to read for. But always off and on my whole life, honestly.
And in what ways do you receive kind of messages from
You mean
those
what I hear? I'm mostly auditory,
Okay.
though I'm clairvoyant. I feel a lot. I also have, I call it clairsmelly, but it's clairolfacent, and sometimes I'll smell like cigarette smoke, or cinnamon rolls is something I smell when my mom's around, because that's her sign to me that she's around. So it's pretty interesting that way. If the energy is really strong, my ears get hot, and I know someone's here in the room, but I've set up boundaries that I'm not wide open all the time. So I don't go to a restaurant and read anyone.
Yeah.
I have to be trying to do it, because I don't want that all the time. I have my own life to live.
You're gonna be bombarded with people trying to
Exactly.
talk to you.
Exactly.
So Ariana, you had an experience with a type of entity, if you want to share that with our listeners.
Okay, so she's talking about when I invited you both to my home.
Okay.
Just so like those listening know, it's like I was very new to like my awareness of energy and spirituality in this way was very, very minimal. So I didn't know what Reiki was, even I've heard of mediums, didn't know the power there. It's just kind of like, oh yeah, that exists, whatever. But there was one day when I was like moving stuff to my upstairs, and I felt this heat, this area, and it was so like just random and bizarre. I thought it was the sun shining in the window, it must just keep this spot hot. And it was just undeniable, bizarre. Every time I walked past it, I like felt weird. It felt hot, and I'm just like, so the next day I went to work and I talked to Liset, and I was like, hey, is this something? Like, I feel like for some reason, I feel like I should talk to you about it. What is this? And she was like, ooh. She's like, yes, I think it might be something. Like, let me bring my friend Cindy over. And then we brought you over. And basically what it ended up being, it was for my husband and his grandma, who he had never met, that had passed on, was trying to send him a message. And Cindy was able to receive that message. And I remember you smelled her cigarette smoke. She was totally talking to you. You could like visualize her walking around. And ultimately what it ended up being is that she had a message for Cody. And so she was looking over the family, kind of hanging out around us. She had the ability to create that portal and let herself in because she was an ancestor. And ultimately the message was beautiful that she had for him. Gosh, dang it, dude. It was beautiful. It was like, hey, I was an angry person. Your dad was an angry person. And I'm following you because I want to stop it right here. Quit being angry. Let's fix this and proceed forward. And for my husband, it meant a lot because he had never met her. He always wondered, like, oh, I wonder if she knows me and knows my kids. And so it was very comforting and reassuring for him. But I feel like what it taught me was quite a few things. And I know what inevitably ended up happening, you helped her cross over because she was kind of in that limbo area. And then that portal was removed, and I haven't felt it since. But there's a few concepts that I thought were pretty awesome. It's like those that passed on can visit you, like without a doubt, I know that.
Yes.
And also that they want to help us. They, like you were saying, like you received that info that we need. And that we do have something to learn from the generation in the past, you know,
and what they perceive once they pass, I mean, they have the whole picture of everything, things we don't know. And so it's beautiful because it's always in your best interest. They're trying to help you. They wanted to stop the anger so that it doesn't flow down through the kids and anywhere else. And they've learned their lessons and can see how it affected you. So a lot of times you might get an I'm sorry, or if you have a question or something to resolve, because when they were on this earth in the physical form, they didn't understand it a lot of times.
A lot of them, sorry to cut you off, they're earthbound, which means that just like you're in your feelings and you can't see beside anything else because your feelings are so strong, whether you either hurt, pain, or so forth, it makes you feel unclear. So, and it sometimes things get mixed up, especially when you start feeling that and it overtakes your life. So you start making decisions from that spot. So when you do cross over, they've like those feelings kind of subside for them, and like she said, they see the big picture and they're able to make that proper decisions, or they know that the path that they were taking was not the best path, and so they want to come back. And especially like the grandma was like, okay, I know where I did, so let me help you out and let me guide you to, like, you have the gift to surpass this, you have the gift to overcome this. And so it's beautiful. It's beautiful that they can actually do that.
Well, with the concept of like this spiritual being something positive that was able to interact, is the opposite kind of possible too, in a sense of a dark spirit or entity? Are they able to influence, or be attracted to people later on?
Yes, they are attracted if you are open to receiving that. I am not. So a word I use and I like is I'm sovereign. Now, if I'm around one and I'm helping maybe remove something, I'm sovereign. I know it's not going to attach to me because I'm like, no. But it's just, everything's energy. So it's just an energy that vibrates at a lower level. You know, gossip, chaos, all that, it's in the lower, keeps you in that kind of crazy mode, unhappy, but yet you want more of it, you know. So yes, that absolutely exists. I'm not open to bringing that through. That's one of my boundaries. So
what are ways that people can protect themselves, especially if they don't have, you know, obviously you guys have a great knowledge base of this and you've had a lot of experiences, but what's something that you could tell, like say me and Joann or people listening, like what are ways they can like up their vibration and keep themselves from being influenced by like negative?
I think, you know, start your day before you get out of bed being grateful you woke up. You know, take some time to just be grateful. Positive music, 2 minutes of dancing around your house looking like a nut, but it's fun, whatever music you like. The lyrics are important. I'm just going to say that. You don't want negative lyrics. You know, there's some pretty nasty music out there, but going out in nature, playing with your kids. If you like pets, there's unconditional love right there in its purest form. Anything like that brings you up and keeps you up. For me, I love to soak in the tub and take a hot bath. That just resets me. You know, and I feel like I wash away the day, wash away anything that was kind of negative. I'm like, nope, bye, when it's gone. So any of those basic things can do that. And then, of course, the crystals help with that type of stuff also. But those are just everyday things you can do. And just be grateful. Just be, words are powerful. You can say mantras, it's like the glass half empty, the glass half full. How are you going to look at it? So sometimes, and everybody goes there and you're kind of negative, and I'll just say, no, okay, I need to shift. I need to shift now. And I just take a minute and I say, I just need to shift, need to look at it differently. What's this teaching me? Okay, got it. Don't really want it again, but got it, and let go of it. Let it go through you also. Don't hang on to it and let it build and fester and harvest.
Yeah.
Can you speak on that a little bit, Liset, too? On like, what are ways that you tell like your patients or friends, or even you do yourself, to keep yourself in that positive, even when you feel, because last night I had a moment where I've been doing a lot of work, and so it kind of caught me off guard. I felt like I was regressing, and I got stuck in that feeling, like that I was triggered, and I felt trapped almost, and I didn't do the steps I normally do. But like, what are ways, because you said you say, hey, I'm switching out of this right now, and I think you're a little more advanced than me, but it's like, what are ways that I can work on to help
I'll take a
make it
path.
faster?
Seriously,
pivot
sometimes
faster.
when I've had a really, and I'm crabby, because everybody gets crabby, I'll just tell everybody, I'm gonna go take a bath. Leave me alone. Next 20 minutes. And it's a
Like
nice
mid-argument.
reset.
Like mid-argument. Like, pause, I'm gonna take a bath.
Yeah, why not?
Well, no, I know, I'm saying,
not?
like, if that works,
Yeah,
like, that's
or
interesting.
go outside. Go outside, walk around the yard, take your dog for a walk, play for a little bit with your kids. Do something you enjoy. If you have a hobby or a craft, anything that takes your mind away where you lose time, like I like to do art and paint, I lose time. That's really good for me. So sometimes it's better to just go, I need to think about this for a while. Let's just take a pause until we've both had time to settle down.
So it's almost like when you're in that tense, like, negative emotional state.
Irritable.
Yes, our
Yes.
indicator for us is our energy. If we feel our energy taking a dive, then it's like, I need to get myself out of the situation. Because, ultimately, I know I don't like feeling that low energy. She don't like it either. So in mid-argument, when I start feeling that dive and I'm about to say something that's going to take me either a dive down further, or I can raise my vibration, and I don't like feeling that way, because I know for me, if I take that dive all the way down, I'm going to stay in that upset mode for quite a while, and I don't like feeling that way. So I rather just like hold my breath. Sometimes I even go, I'm like, oh, okay, take a deep breath. This is not what I want. And then I reset right there and then, but that's my indication.
What's that saying? Is it better to be right or kind? In an argument sometimes, and I keep telling myself that, because sometimes if you continue to engage, you now go meet their energy and you've lowered. So you're like, do you want to lower? Do you want to go meet that? Or do you want to keep your energy high and have them come meet you?
Well, and this might...
And sometimes I do take a breather. Sometimes I'm like, okay, it's better to be kind. You're on your own journey. This is my journey. I'm going to take a breather. And okay, hopefully you'll come around and see it. But I understand it's your journey, and I don't want to vibrate there with you. And when you mentioned the media, I don't really watch the news that much anymore. I choose to read it, because then I don't get the inflections, and I can read and get all the basic knowledge that I need without anybody's opinion, with any of that, and take it or leave it, not absorb it.
Love that.
Because you do absorb energy from what you see, what you hear, what you say, what you feel. Like you absorb it, even colors. Like literally, you absorb it in every possible way. And you're just absorbing this. I mean, you're a magnet. So if you're a magnet, I mean, what would you want to be magnetized to you and push it out?
Well, I think a lot of people that I've encountered anyways, so I'm not trying to speak for everyone, but they assume that they don't have control. So they assume, oh, it's things are just coming at me. And it's like when you have that mindset, and you have that fear in you all the time, that's what's gonna keep coming, right? And I think I love that you guys say like it's you're making the boundaries, you have control, there's tools that you can use. And so I think a lot of people that are listening maybe would consider that as a helpful guidance, like quit looking at the universe as something that's just happening and you're taking part in it. It's like, no, you're an active player and you get to choose what part you play.
Well, in society, we were taught not to take responsibility. We were taught like, it's someone else's fault, or it's like, oh, let me go to the doctors because they're going to take care of me and so forth. So at what point are you going to take responsibility for your own body, for your own mind, for your own thoughts? So, and you said it clearly, it's a mindset. So what type of mindset do you have? So those people who say they have no control and, this is happening to them. So where's your mindset that you're inviting all of this to feel like you're not in control?
One of the tools that I want, did you have it?
No, go ahead.
One of the tools I kind of wanted to dive into that I know Cindy is excellent with is crystals, because I feel like that's a tool that you can use for protection. So I wanted you to talk a little bit about crystals, what they are.
And she programs
how you
them
use
too.
like what that means. Yes.
Crystals are stones. They're crystal rocks. They're stones. They're natural to the earth. Though there are some that have come from space and landed, on the earth. But for the most part, they're from the earth, and they all have their own energy, and they vibrate at a different energy. So I brought some here that are basically lined up with our chakras. So both of these are grounding. So these here are any dark color, any brown stones, darker reds, browns. I brought a couple to show you because this one can kind of go in between, and this is a grounding stone. And I also have tourmaline.
I was gonna say, do you know the names?
These are both actually forms of carnelian. One is lighter, one is darker, as you can see. And I did that on purpose because maybe you only have one stone and you're trying to cover two of your energy centers, or you're filling in between. It's a good stone. It's a good stone to have. It can satisfy both. As also a clear quartz. It can be substituted for any of them, for any of the colors, anything you need it to do. The clear is always good. But having a darker stone or a grounding stone like this, sometimes if I'm just sitting quietly, and meditation is a form of prayer, it's just quieting your mind, going within. But if you're feeling the need to just kind of be more grounded, feel safe, secure, present in where you are, it's just great. I just hold it in my left hand, because your left side is receiving, right side is giving. You can put it at your feet. You don't, anywhere even near you, just have it near you. You don't have to hold it. It's really grounding, and it helps, the energy from the stone helps you and helps you feel grounded. And you can feel them. I mean, I feel the energy, left hand.
So you say you don't have to have it on you, but is there a proximity that you should be at with your stones?
Close.
Okay.
Like if you have stuff on your desk, that's okay. If you tend to be a little, need more grounding. Like I have a nice big smoky quartz at home, and I keep it on a desk where I sit quite often. And you can usually feel the energy, and they don't have to be large. As you can see, this is a tiny stone, and some are large. This is a tourmaline, and this is like one of my favorite, I love tourmaline. So I always usually have it around.
What are the benefits of tourmaline?
tourmaline, it can be grounding, but it removes negative feelings. So you can put this,
I
it
have that by my
protects. You can put
bed.
this on any of your energy centers, and it will help remove anything that's bothering you and protecting you in that area. But sometimes maybe you're just needing it, or before you're going to go into something, or if you're going to, sometimes I'll have a tourmaline necklace on if I'm going into a big crowd where there's a lot of energy and I just don't want to feel everybody's energy, maybe like a concert.
Lisette currently has one on her neck.
Is that a tourmaline?
No.
I was going to say, I don't think it is. Yeah,
Herkimer.
no, that's Herkimer.
See, I wore my tiger's eye and my malachite today.
I have
And
mine
today,
pockets.
I have my blue on for my throat chakra, right? So I can
What I
speak
have.
clearly and that it's understood.
How do you identify which chakra is in need of a little boost?
Usually I identify feelings, your feelings. What are you feeling? Are you feeling like you're not feeling loved, or you're feeling like I have a decision and I can't move forward? Well, that's going to be your solar plexus, because that's your power point. Like I said, the root chakra is about security, safety, being rooted. Then you have your soul, or your sacral chakra, and that's all about kind of family energy, mother energy, sexuality, and being okay with who you are, and that type of connection. And I'm sure Lisette can go into even more detail on all the energy centers.
And I was going to say, sometimes you'll get a physical indication of what is missing. Because remember, this is energy inside of you. So if it's ignored, it would also manifest into a physical form.
So, yeah, a lot of times if you're cramping, being female, you can also put a stone on to help you with that. And
With
usually
carnelian?
the carnelian, but usually what I'm going to use is this, right? Because I want the
Carnelian?
cramps to go away. I want them taken out in protection. So I'll put that on, and then the
The green
carnelian.
one is good too.
The malachite?
Yeah. And,
Oh, for that.
let's say you're getting stomach aches. A lot of stomach aches. You got a decision to make. Stomach aches. Maybe you don't want to move forward. Maybe it's business. Hint, hint. Yes, it's your solar plexus, because that's kind of your energy. You're on the ground. Go. This is what you're going to do. Your next steps. This is your power. So in business, this is really good. It's also prosperity. So
Which
if
one
you,
is that?
Yeah.
it's citrine, and this is citrine. And so I like to have a lot of citrine around, right? For abundance, bring in positive abundance. When you use your words, like some people just say abundance and think everybody understands what that means. Well, don't call it just abundance without an abundance of what you want. You don't want to have abundance of chaos.
Yeah.
So
Very true.
green stones or pink are your heart chakra to bring in love, self-love. I like green because that's the color of the heart chakra. The pink is kind of your higher heart. So it's your true innate heart, your soul heart. Your green also brings in money, prosperity also, but it opens up your heart. And so if you're feeling a little blue or want a little more romance or don't know what to do, this is a good one to have around
I
too.
have one.
And these three, put them together,
Yes.
is your money magnet.
Yes.
So it's a carnelian, citrine, and
money.
or malachite? Is that the one? Or what is this? Is this the
This is,
one we were just talking about?
oh, darn it. Now
It's the
I
one in
just
the bath
blanked.
salt, right?
This is, the Avertine.
Avertine.
And these are all your lower chakras, right? From basically, you have the three lower, they meet at the heart, then you start going higher. So that's how
Yes, and the
Go through
three
that.
and the lower ones, remember, they hold your emotional blockage, or even manifesting, or even the part of the emotional part that is going to make you manifest and heighten your awareness on things. So that's also just a great way to start if you need some sort of way.
And this is blue sodalite, which I love, just because it's pretty, and that's for your throat chakra. And then I'm a great example of this. If you don't have a good working throat chakra, You can have thyroid problems, adrenal problems, sore throats, all that type of stuff. And I had that for years with my thyroid. I no longer have a thyroid problem.
All right, I need some of that.
Yeah. And so it also helps you speak clearly and receive clearly. It's your ears, it's your auditory. So it's all connected. And
I need that one.
yeah, amethyst. Amethyst for your third eye, right? Where you receive your information that's just within you. You can close your eyes, you can keep it open. When people talk about clairvoyance and all of that, it's amethyst. Now I brought two because one is light and one is dark. So this is softer. This is a little softer, has a little pinky. So it's kind of up here. If you're not wanting to open it wide open, right? And you're wanting it a little softer, it's nice to have just a purple lighter color if you're not ready for that and want all that information coming in. And then your crown at the top where source comes in and brings you all that information, God, clear quartz, anything shiny like that. This one has a point. So I also call it kind of like a little master quartz. It activates anything else. And if you put anything together, like there, it amplifies it. Quartz will amplify anything else. So if you're really wanting something strong, you can put them together side by side. They don't have to be on top of each other. But you want to point it at the quartz. So let's say you're wanting to bring in more love and self-love. You're gonna point it at the quartz. But if you're wanting to manifest more business, more things coming in from the outside, right, everywhere else outside, then I'm going to put it like this. Because I want to draw it in from the outside. I'm amplifying it, and I'm asking things to come in now from the outside. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But you don't have to have a point one, just any of these work. And selenite, which is always a favorite, which is not part of the chakras, it's just a great overall stone. It's protection, it cleanses, it naturally cleanses all the energy off your stone. Yours is much more pretty. Mine's my little travel one.
And it also helps clear all the other stones too, naturally. So, I mean, there's different ways to clear them. There's different ways to amplify the stones. As
Yeah, you
we
can
just had a
put 'em
full
right next to
moon, you can amplify the stones that way. Selenite just does it naturally all the time.
So for someone who doesn't know what that means to amplify their stones on a full moon, what would they do?
So when you start using stones and they absorb your energy too. So if you're holding them all the time, you definitely want to cleanse them. There's some stones that you can go ahead and put underwater. A selenite you cannot put underwater. Also
Anything that ends in ITE,
yeah.
ite, Amazonite, anything, selenite, celestite, which I really love.
Yeah.
You don't want them in water because they'll slowly dissolve.
Okay.
And this beautiful purple one, you don't want it in the sun because it will, or even a pink rose, you don't want it in the sun
They'll
because
fade.
it will fade and it will draw out. So take it that they do absorb your natural, what's, in your environment. You definitely want to kind of reset them too. A great way is either, like I said, put them underwater. You can put them in even plants because they're also natural way of grounding. Moon is a full moon, which really amplifies all the energies. So wherever you are at, energetically wise, the moon is going to amplify that. Hence, it's a full moon in that negative notation. But as for spiritual people or walking in that path or anybody who is so forth, ours is, it's a full moon. It gets to amplify all the wonderful, amazing things that's out there and also cleanses the stones and amplifies their own natural state of energy.
So how does one prepare for a full moon? Because you're saying full moons come, they amplify your
Yes.
energy, stone's energy. It's like, okay, I don't want to be a negative vibration when I'm being amplified, right? So I guess what are ways that you suggest to your clients that they prep for said full moon?
Well, definitely be aware of your emotions at that time. If there's something that is triggering you, which you're feeling upset over something, then I would literally look into yourself of why you're feeling that trigger. Why are you feeling upset? Why are you feeling annoyed? Why, that's number one. The second is, well, like you said, it does amplify it. So if you're feeling in that kind of polarity, you want to go into nature. You want to clear your own sense. You want to ground. You want to get your stones. The night of the full moon, we actually do our own individual little rituals. Rituals are just to help you. How would you explain
A
that?
ritual for me is just, it's a routine. It's a
There you go.
routine so that my mindset and it's my intent, because everything is really just intent, whatever you put behind it. So, for example, this past full moon, I had some things bothering me, and I knew that. I wrote them out on a piece of paper, folded them up, and on the full moon, I just shredded it to let it go. I released it. Release, take it from me. That's what I wanted amplified. Release it, get rid of it. So that's what I did with it. And it's a great way to do that. And those rituals just reinforce the intent. And so then you're just in that kind of little space, and you're just like, okay, this is what, and it's so freeing because you're like, I did it, I released it.
You're acknowledging that you're wanting your intent to be different than what it was.
When it's almost like being a human,
Yes.
and it's like having that mental and then also doing the physical, it almost like
Yes.
reaffirms that whole
Right, the whole
process. And you can
tangible.
relieve it more,
Yes.
right? Than
And you can write out whatever you want, and you're not giving it, if the issue's with somebody else, you're not giving them that letter. It's just you're getting it out of your system. And then I release it. I like to shred mine just to say, okay, it's gone now. And then know that it's gone. Know that you're supported, and know that it's gone. And it feels great. It really feels great.
It's almost like you have to be prepared to fully release it and let it go and not look back.
And like Liset said, to dig as to why. Let's say it was an argument. Well, why did that trigger me? Because a lot of times it's not always what you expect. But it's a personal thing, and it's your own journey, and it's not anyone else's business. But you can write it down, and like I said, on a small piece of paper. You can burn them. I shred them during summer. I don't like to burn it so dry, so I just shred mine, and I think it's just the process, like you said, of doing it. It's not only physical, it's mental, I'm doing something with my hands, it's tangible.
You get all your
Yeah.
senses involved when you do that ritual or that routine. As releasing, and I love that you touched the base of just releasing and shredding it. Most people, what they do, they can put it on a bay leaf. You see it out there, put on a bay leaf and release. But you can also do that as manifesting. Don't manifest on a full moon. So
you release on a full moon.
You release on a full moon because it's amplified. So you want to make sure you have anything, so energetically wise, your feelings and so forth. Like release the fact that I'm blocking love. Release the fact that I'm blocking my higher self, or I'm blocking the fact that I can't speak. I release the pain that I have from this situation, or I release the pain from so forth. Or just even, you can even amplify, say, I release all my blocks about financial, situations or so forth. So everybody always has something that they want to go ahead and release during those times.
And I think it's important too, when you do this, to write it out, but like it's already done. Don't say, I hope, I wish, I want.
No.
It's done. It's done, it's done, it's done. And then on a new moon, so basically when there's no moon out and it's black, that's when you manifest. Fresh start, things coming to you. That's when you put your wishes out there.
Yes.
And your desires. And again, you do those like they're done. I always say, thank you, God, for bringing me abundance in great friendships or relationships or whatever you want, brownies, I don't know. But, it's whatever you want, but that it's already happened, and then sit in the feeling of it like it's happened.
Important,
It
the
feels so
feeling.
good. It feels so good. What would it feel like? It feels so good. Yeah. And that's important. And so you can just follow the calendar, ask Alexa. I do that periodically. Yes. It's change. Change is consistent. Everybody changes and evolves. And those who don't want to change and try not to change, it's fear-based.
Yeah.
And obviously, I've changed a lot going from an airline pilot to a medium. That's a huge change. But, you know, it's good. It's growth. And anything that makes you a little uncomfortable, that's okay too.
I love that.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for appearing on this episode. I felt like I learned a lot of different things. So for someone who would maybe want to see you, reach out to you, have a visit with you, how would they be able to get a hold of you?
They could message me on Instagram at Thrive Beyond the Box, or maybe call the office and they can get my number from Liset.
Okay.
And that I just don't want to put my phone number all over the internet.
Yeah, so Instagram probably the best way.
Yes.
Perfect. And Lizette, we know how to get a hold of
At
you.
Ego.
Mm-hmm.
Beauty, ego, wellness. I'm there.
Thank you guys. I really
Yes.
appreciate you sharing
Thank
your
you.
gifts.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. And
It's
thank
a
you for letting
fun
me read
episode.
for you.
No, that's
Yes.
awesome.
Thank you for listening to Awaken Your Ego, a podcast that explores biohacking and self-discovery. We hope you follow us on Instagram and Facebook to stay up to date on what we're working on in your area.